California tax dollars intended to solve homelessness ended up. California has spent more than $24 billion over the last 5 years with little to no progress in solving our homelessness epidemic. California state officials failed to provide meaningful oversight over the individuals who received most of these funds, and they had little to no answers to the public's demand for accountability. Well, that accountability starts today. Today, we are announcing significant developments into our investigation. We're making public 2 criminal cases relating to 2 separate real estate developers who were involved in misappropriating millions of state funds intended to combat homelessness. This morning, federal agents arrested Cody Holmes, a 31-year-old Beverly Hills resident and the former CFO of Shangri-La Industries, a downtown LA-based developer of affordable housing, for defrauding the Home Key program that is administered by the state of California. The program awarded grant money, which included federal tax dollars, for specific projects to convert motels into housing for the homeless and to operate the units. By April of 2022, Shangri-La Industries, where Holmes was the CFO, had co-applied with multiple California cities to convert numerous properties in California, including a location in Thousand Oaks. The state asked for proof that the company had the financial capacity to build all the projects. In response, Holmes and Shangri-La knowingly submitted fake bank statements, which claimed to show that the developer had about $160 million on deposit. Not only were the bank statements fake, our investigation...
You have to understand, this is what California goes through. This is why I say California people in office, people over in charge of a budget, need to have some type of experience in running a business. You're giving money to people knowing damn well they scamming the system. California's giving over $24 billion towards homelessness. We still have homeless. We still have a lot. They're everywhere. Where did the $24 billion go? It went to people's pockets for them to fund the luxury lifestyle of going on private jets, luxury cars, and everything. But homelessness has not been solved. $24 billion for sure can solve homelessness. You have people like this, Shangri-La Industries. They're basically developers saying they're going to turn motels into housing for homeless. Sounds like a great idea, right? No. They're scammers. All it is just, you know how to do the paperwork. You know how to file the paperwork to get money. They said they had $160 million, but it was all fake bank statements. But this is why, as a state, this is why California is failing. It's because you're giving money to people without vetting them. This is why we need somebody else in office. This is why we need somebody that knows how to run a business, man. Jay-Z said it the best. But Democrats, what they love to do, they like to use homelessness, kids, racial equality to get money. But then they give it to people that's going to waste the money and take the money. There's so many programs like this in California that are for homelessness. There's so many foundations that they give money to that do nothing for homelessness. Food banks, they do very little. Imagine what $24 billion can actually do for the state of California. And they actually spent it the right way. They actually vetted people. They actually gave it to people that are representable, that's actually going to use the money for their good. California would be way better. It'd be number 1, top tier. We'll have everything. $24 billion, let's put $24 billion into our kids for the next 5 years. See what happens. Let's put $24 billion into the schools, into the to making sure our kids are taken care of and protected, and learning STEM, learning engineering, learning real shit, not just basic shit that they can't even read. This is the problem. You're giving money to people that are scamming the system just because they may look right on paper, but you're not doing your research. Oh, they'll do it. Then you have to have the federal government come in and audit you guys and see that you didn't even consistently track outcomes of these programs. What that means is the state often cannot say whether the spending actually helped reduce homelessness. The stats got to show something. You don't even have stats to show good or bad. Many programs lack reliable or up-to-date data on how many people were helped, how long they stayed housed, and how many moved into permanent housing, etc. There's a lack of centralized oversight. With many agencies and programs, no single entity had full view of all funds and programs outcomes. So what does that mean? The man at the top Gavin Newsom, looking at you, big dog. Why aren't you putting in these situations and putting these committees to be able to say, you're not helping us, so we're not giving you more money. Your program didn't work. Your program did work. Your program didn't work. $24 billion on homelessness, and we still have a bunch of homelessness here in California because I'm from California, so I know. But then you won't give Cal Fire the money they need to be able to fight fires so people can live in their homes. And then you can't give the money to the people that are victims of the Palisades fire and Palisades and Altadena to be able to give them a place to stay, be able to help them out. But you are spending $24 billion on homelessness. There's homeless people everywhere. Get it together. But this is the same guy that you guys want in office. He can't even manage California. He can't even see and correct things when he sees it happen. He doesn't say anything. What do you have to say about the $24 billion? You're on podcast talking about Trump. Stop worrying about Trump and worry about what the hell you got going on in California, Newsom. Because this is ridiculous. Me as a Californian, and a lot of Californians feel this about you, you're not doing your job. You're hanging us to dry. You're on your way out. You don't think California's going to be a Republican state next year? Yes. When Newsom's out of here, everybody's going to be voting Republican. Why would we go back to Democrats? Look what happened. Why would we do that? You say we have a homeless problem, you put $24 billion, nothing happened. We say we have fire problem, we ask for money to give it to the Cal Fire so they can take care and make sure that we don't have fires like Palisades and Altadena again. You won't give them money. You won't give money to the schools to make sure they're top tier and the kids are educated and the teachers are getting paid very well because it's a great job to have. And it's not an easy job. You won't give the money to the things that they need, but you give it to homelessness. $24 billion. $24 billion over the course of 5 years. That's a little bit over, let's say, $5 million a year. Or a little less. It's a little less, like 4.8, 4.7. So imagine if you gave $4.7 billion to the Cal Fire. Maybe split that up and gave it to teachers. Maybe split that up and gave it to things that actually help our kids. After school programs so they won't go to jail or be left hungry. Everybody's using the homeless and putting money all to the homeless, but they ain't doing nothing. So maybe we shouldn't get the money into the homeless because they're going to be around regardless. I'm a firm believer in how do you end homelessness? This is the crazy thing. Like I said, I always say this on my videos. I was talking to my wife about this. How do you end homelessness? You start with the youth. If you get the youth where they need to get to, they won't be homeless. The people that are homeless now, hate to say it, it's a little too late to save them. We don't need to put $24 billion into people that are older and are homeless. We have to see why you're homeless, get our data, get our research, and then implement that study that we got and create programs to where we can prevent that and get that to our kids and help our kids. We are focusing on the wrong demographic. Focus on the kids, man. The kids are the ones that need it. $24 billion should have been going to the kids. After school programs where they can learn STEM, where they can get college credit, so they can learn a trade, so they can learn how to make money, so they can learn entrepreneurship. I'd rather you spend the $24 billion on the kids. I don't need the money. I go get the money. People go out here and work. That's what you do. But the kids, bring the money for $24 billion to the kids. I don't care. You know what? I don't care about the homeless. I care more about the kids than the homelessness. There's a reason why they're homeless. It could be drugs. Big reason. Trust me, I know. I used to live in downtown LA. Drugs is the number one reason. No opportunities to work, so they refer to living on the street. Not wanting to work. There's a study out there that there's some homeless people that get paid to be homeless. Let's make that make sense. So when we're in this situation and we see they don't want to be better. They want to be better, but they don't want to work to be better. We can't reward that behavior. My grand idea that I always talk to my wife about, which I always say when I was talking to my wife, have these great conversations. This is why I say get you a partner that you can have some real conversations with. Sanctuary cities, real sanctuary cities. Have you not driven from LA to Las Vegas? all that land in Hesperia, um, Barstow. I used to be a volunteer firefighter in Yermo. Bountiful areas of land. Why not build a big old sanctuary city over there where there's rehabilitation programs in there where people can get themselves together and push everybody there? Instead of having sanctuary cities in all these cities and what is affecting all these kids and you're taking monies from the kids, I don't mind you taking out of the 24 billion, $1 billion over 5 years and building that sanctuary city. And now we have all these people that need help, everything. They can go over there and get right. But I don't like the fact that you spend $24 billion and not putting nothing towards the kids, because it starts with the kids. It starts with making our kids wanting to work and wanting to make themselves something out of their lives. But if you're not focusing on the kids, you will continue to have homeless people. Be smart. I'll be a great politician. If I got into politics, I would never would, because it's obviously crooked. Because they work for there's always a boss in politics. But as I look at it, it's like it's very simple. Focus on the kids. Pay attention to the kids. Protect the kids. The kids is the root of everything that we got going on today. Why is there everybody voting for blue now? It's because the kids are confused and they're not working and they want everything given to them. Why are there? You have a lot of transgender women. It's because the kids are confused and they didn't have parents to tell them, you're a woman, you're a man. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not confused. Whoever told you that is idiotic. Why do we have homelessness? It's because the kids don't have a desire to work. So if their family's not here, they're on the street, homeless, on drugs, prostituting. It starts with the kids. So why don't we put that money into the kids? Let's try that for the next 5 years. Let's put $24 billion into the kids. We'll be around here like China. Everybody's smart. Oh, you have summer school? You can't afford it? Okay, so we're going to put you in a summer program where you can learn and continue to learn while you're in the summer, instead of sitting at home doing nothing. You can learn. We'll just keep the schools open. Why do we have 3 months off in school? China doesn't. Japan doesn't. The kids need to be in school year round. They need to be constantly learning. That's the word they need to be in. Learn, work, learn, work, learn. Why is China ahead as far as kids? Why is Japan ahead? You see the videos. Why aren't they able to work with their hands? Why aren't they being outside? It's because we have schools that aren't year round, and then you guys give them computers and then they're dumb. 24 billion, we should just go ahead and have year round schools. The money's there. So we can't say there's no money. $24 billion in the last 5 years. That's less than $5 billion a year. I will always say, protect the kids. You're not wasting money by investing it into the kids. If you invest it into the kids, they will grow. They will be better. They will have something to do. They will have skills. But if we don't do that, we'll continue to have this homelessness problem. We'll continue to have these kids that are confused. We'll continue to have this generation to vote for whoever will give them free stuff. That's the problem right there.